Welcome to Spoiler Alert, where we talk about and subsequently spoil your favorite shows.
A human could have said that without salivating.
This week, we mourn the passing of Sons of Anarchy's Tara Teller and Homeland's Nicholas Brody. We weigh in on a wicked piece of once casting. We look ahead to the returns of Community and Justified.
What'd I do now?
And we offer up some bold 2014 predictions.
Now, can we get down to business?
How are you?
Good to see you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
It was not a happy holidays for two major characters on TV, and let's start with Tara on Sons of Anarchy.
Where to begin?
Well, we can begin with a couple weeks ago I said on this very program that she was not going to die, and I offered my reasons why.
I think I said she was.
I don't know about that. We'll have to review the videotape. So I was wrong. I was really surprised that they killed her off. Disappointed because I love that character. I felt like that was the one character I was rooting for more than anyone else on the show.
Yeah.
And also disappointed in how she died. I think I would have been fine with the death if it felt more organic. It felt a little contrived, though, the way that we got to the death.
So many leaps, so many incorrect things needed to happen for her to die in that episode.
Right. The things that Wayne did. Wayne, who loves Gemma,
right,
who is always protecting her and who always is trying to stop her from getting in the way of herself, drops this bomb on her without having verified proof.
A half-baked bomb.
Right, exactly.
They're arresting him. Yeah. I guess Tara made a deal.
Did they establish why when he walks into her place, he takes his car keys out of his pocket and puts them on the table?
You okay?
That's a good question.
Do you ever do that when you go to someone's house?
Would you get my pills? The heart ones? Yeah. They're in my bathroom.
This is a ruse. You are being played, man.
Yeah. Every time she jammed that fork in her head, I was like, okay, I think she could survive that. I think she could survive that.
Right,
And then after 6-1, I was like,
you're like, she's not surviving.
She's dead.
Yeah.
On a positive note, performances were insane.
Oh my God.
Like Maggie Siff, all this season she's been wonderful, but that park scene.
I'll go if I have to. At least I know I tried to save him from becoming what you are.
It was great. And Charlie,
yeah.
I mean, that is tough to pull off when, you know, that kind of scene, because it can really ring false.
You don't have to run. Not anymore.
And also, as a whole, I enjoyed this season, and I'm going to watch the final season. I'm curious to see where it's going to go, but I'm going to miss Tara. So the other big death, Nicholas Brody on Homeland, one that we all sort of saw coming.
And midway through the episode, too.
Right.
It's not like they even left us hanging.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Surprisingly emotional, and I know this show has taken a lot of knocks this season, understandably so in many ways. But I thought it was an emotional, satisfying end to his character.
He ultimately paid for the wrong things that he almost did over the years.
Right.
And, you know, again, great work. You know, Claire Danes.
It was great.
Struggling with the whole thing.
I'm so sad.
One thing I forgot to ask Alex Ganza, the showrunner, after the episode was, and I'm curious about this, why did they never say I love you? Would it have been too cheesy?
Too cheesy.
Yeah.
Too cheesy, too pat, too easy, too romantic.
I'm excited about season 4, though.
I mean, that epilogue set up so much. You know, it kind of like really shuffled things, almost in such a way it felt like the 6 Feet Under final scene, you know?
Right.
Here's where everybody is now, you know, 4 months later, Carrie's off on a new job, and Saul's out of the CIA.
He just gave me Istanbul. Station chief.
Holy crap.
I know.
And I think it's pretty clear what next season is mostly going to be about. Alex Ganza pretty much said it to me. You know, Carrie's going to be in Istanbul, surrounded by all her favorite colleagues, Virgil, Saul, Quinn, which I think is exciting because I like them together as a team.
Yeah, I'd like some more Quinn this season. I think that a lot of the fans kind of wanted him to have a bigger role, and the season premiere kind of suggested that it was. He was going to have all this issues with having killed the kid, but that just never really materialized into anything.
One thing Alex Ganza did sort of confirm is that Quinn clearly has feelings for her.
I think they call that love.
He didn't rule out the possibility that it could be reciprocated at some point. He said it's unlikely that Carrie will be in a romantic state of mind, but there's definitely chemistry between the two of them.
What's amazing is that people are still thinking that Brody is alive.
Yeah.
That Javadi faked the hanging or something.
Alex basically said he's dead.
Yeah.
Although he stopped short just a little bit of saying he didn't say the words "he is dead."
I can't believe they would ever pull that.
They can't.
You know.
The show would be over at that point because no one would take it seriously. Moving on, big piece of casting this week. We learned that Rebecca Mader is playing the Wicked Witch of what on Once Upon a Time?
Well, right now I'm told that she's just going by the name of Wicked Witch. That she's not Elphaba from the Broadway show Wicked, which is, a whole separate entity that no one has the rights to, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And she's not necessarily the Wicked Witch of the West, even though she is green. But she's going by the Wicked Witch, and it should be fun. And
she looks great.
Kind of jarring, putting a redhead with the green face.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's breaking some sort of art rules. It'll be a lot of fun. I know Rebecca's really excited about it. The boys are really excited to have her on the show. What's interesting is they said they've had her in mind for this role for quite some time. So it's like they've known for a while that they're going to be bringing on the Wicked Witch and that they're going to have made her play her. So that makes me think that there's kind of a bigger picture idea with this character.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, any theories as to how she's going to be?
I think she's going to be Regina's sister. I don't know if Regina knows she has this sister, but I think that, because Adam and Eddie told us when we did that family tree for Once Upon a Time, they said we were going to get 2 additions to it this season. One of them is obviously going to be the charming baby. I assume that they're going to make a baby. And then the other one, I suspect, will be the Wicked Witch.
Interesting.
But Once Upon a Time, they did a really nice job of going into this long 12-week winter hiatus with a big twist. Basically, all the characters who weren't born in our realm got sent back to the Enchanted Forest, and Emma and Henry's memories of the whole time there have been wiped clean. As far as Emma is concerned, she kept Henry. She never gave him up for adoption. Now they're living in New York City. And then Captain Hook showed up at the end. And it was like easily the most Lost-like episode of Once Upon a Time ever. Because you had this like happy montage, with these quick cuts of happy Emma, happy Henry driving away in the Volkswagen, this music swelling, playing, everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be great. And then it fades to black and you get that little Lost-like and then you come back to New York City, and then, she opens the door, it's Captain Hook.
I need your help. Something's happened, something terrible. Your family is in trouble.
My family's right here. Who are you?
He basically says, we have to go back. He says, there's a combination of that and Back to the Future. He's like, your family's in great jeopardy. You need to come with me. And she doesn't know who this guy is, so it'll be interesting to see how Hook can convince her of what the real deal is.
Look, I know this seems crazy, but you have to listen to me. You have to remember.
So this is our last show of 2013. About 160 premieres coming up in January. A couple of them we've already seen, returning shows. Firstly, Community. A lot of anticipation and
Dan Harmon is back. The commercials are funny. They're like,
From the executive producer of Community Seasons 1 through 3.
You stomped in the grave of a real monster who was willing to stay buried.
So I haven't seen these first couple episodes, but you have. So.
Oh yeah, I plowed through like a whole bunch of them. I wasn't a huge fan of the season premiere. I know some people are, but episodes 2 and 3 are just fantastic.
Yeah.
Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad is on the show, and he's hilarious. The 3rd episode is a bottle episode where they're all just kind of like in the study room for the whole half hour.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun. All these secrets come pouring out. It's kind of like that Friends episode where everybody starts shouting each other's dirty laundry. There's a whole sequence of that.
Any mention of Pierce and where Pierce is?
There is. He says,
okay,
carefully, measuring his words.
All right.
Pierce is accounted for.
Okay.
And we get the foundation is set for what they're going to do with Troy.
Oh, really?
To accommodate Donald Glover's exit from the show.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a big shift, even more so than losing Chevy Chase.
Just because he and Abed are basically...
They're a team.
Those 2 characters are one character.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the interplay and everything.
Season 9 of Scrubs, Zach Braff was only in the first 6 episodes.
Son of a bitch. After everything Scrubs did for him?
Justified, which we've both seen. I've seen the first 2 episodes. Interesting start. They actually shot the premiere, most of it, in Florida, which was jarring.
Oh, yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, because I spoke to Graham Yost, and he confirmed that they shot a lot of scenes for the premiere in Florida. But it was jarring to see sort of Raylan outside of Harlan with this new family, this crazy, unhinged family.
Well, that's what I love about Justified, is every season premiere, they're never afraid to just throw at us 11 new characters, a whole new storyline. They're great that way, and somehow they are able to create these characters that are more backwoods than the last.
Yeah.
Like, just when you think you've seen the most decrepit, dumb
And
criminals.
I wonder where they find these actors. I mean, some of them are known, some of them are not, though, and they're like perfect.
Right, like we know Michael Rappaport, who's basically like, the leader of the family. And there's a lot of Wynn Duffy this season.
Yep.
He and Boyd are on their own little mission up to Detroit when something goes horribly wrong. And once they get to Detroit, things just get even wronger.
We get a little snippet of Winona.
Yes, yep.
Via Skype.
And the baby.
And the baby.
We get a peek at the baby.
We get a peek at the baby. She's not pregnant anymore. The longest pregnancy in television history. Lastly, 2014 predictions. I went first last time. You go first this time.
I'm wondering if all of the CBS hour-long dramas are going to make it out alive this spring. I just feel like it's time for one of them to fall by the wayside. And
Mentalist?
The 3 lowest rated are The Mentalist, The Good Wife, and Blue Bloods. Good Wife's not going anywhere.
Not going
it's
anywhere.
Too damn good. It's too damn acclaimed.
Yep.
So it comes down to Mentalist and Blue Bloods. If I had to choose, I'm leaning towards Blue Bloods.
But it gets like 10 million viewers still.
I know, but you just feel like you could move Mentalist there and it would get the same 10 million. You could move Elementary there and it'd get the same 10 million. And Mentalist does kind of have this reboot thing going for it.
I bet they're probably waiting to see how that reboot fares.
Yeah.
If it clicks with viewers.
And my other prediction, I just think we're going to have a really strong summer of TV. You've got M. Night Shyamalan's Wayward Pines on Fox. You've got the Halle Berry summer event series on CBS. Under the Dome is coming back, hopefully better. 24 is going to, it's going to launch in the spring, but it's going to bleed over into the summer. So I think we're going to have a really, and that's in addition to all the stuff on cable. My prediction, which is a new prediction based on breaking news, the Duck Dynasty fiasco, where the leader made those anti-gay remarks, is now suspended. Phil Robertson? Yes. My prediction is that season 5, mostly which was already in the can when this whole thing blew up, will be the show's last season. I think this is going to sort of snowball into something bigger. Which would be a tough call, because it does monster numbers. It does monster numbers. I just think that the rest of the cast are not going to want to be on the show without their patriarch. So anyway, I think that that's going to be a big story, continue to be a big story well into 2014.
I'm Haley Steinfeld, and you're watching ENTV. Hi, my name is Kiernan Shipka, and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV. I just touched it with my mouth, sorry.